Hey guys, it's Hideki. And as you know, I started my own podcast. I want to find out more about the Houston creatives and see where they started, what they do, what they think about the community, and then, of course, their goals. So if you're interested, listen up. Let's find out. All right, guys. So welcome back to the podcast. We're going to be talking today with Gregory Joseph, otherwise known as ItsGreg72. Hey, Greg, say hi to the people.
What's going on? Where how y'all doing today? How y'all doing today?
I love it. So, Greg, I personally know you as a photographer, right? So, I want to know a little bit more about that. How long have you been doing this? Or have you always been a photographer? What started it for you?
All right, so here's the thing. Here's all right. So professionally, right, just at full time, I've been doing this for 3 years since the pandemic started. Basically,
Okay.
we know how that started,
Yeah.
and but I do have work going back at least 15 years.
Wow, that's a
So
long time.
so here's what happened. Here's what happened. So around middle school slash, well, really more so high school, I found two talents basically at the same time. One was using the camera because I did video first before I ever did photography.
Hmm.
Two was piano.
Really? You play the piano?
A little bit.
A little bit.
I've read a couple stuff. My technique is not, it's not where it probably would have been had I started at a younger age,
Yeah. That's
or at
really
least
cool.
we've already kept with it. But I got something. I can do a little something if I really wanted to. I don't do it much nowadays because
Hmm.
I just don't. Or if I
Yeah.
do it, I do it when I'm by myself at home because it's just the idea of playing in front of people. It's just I'm just not with it right now,
And you're
personally.
really busy also in like your photography world. I see that you constantly have projects going on. But so you say
Man,
you've been doing photography, we would say at least 15 years?
we can say that. I know I preface this by saying 3 years professionally because I didn't know what I was doing until I started
Mm-hmm.
doing it full time,
Got
right?
it.
But I think that's the story for every photographer. Like we didn't know what the hell was going on until we started doing YouTube University.
Yeah,
Then
YouTube
we start figuring out,
University.
oh yeah, this is what we'll be doing. Okay, because we know what a good picture looks like.
Right.
Why we didn't know? So the first camera I ever used was a a Fujifilm Fine Pick 2700. It was literally a point and shoot camera. You couldn't even take
Mm-hmm.
the lens off.
Yeah, one of your standard, let's just see what happens from here kind of cameras. I love that though. At least you got
Basically,
started. Yeah. And how long did you shoot with that camera?
I want to say that's I started with that until after my I want to say sophomore year of college.
Wow. And then how often did you have to like, have you updated since then? What are you working on now?
So nowadays, which I'm looking to upgrade at some point at the time of this recording, but now I have two main cameras. I use a Canon Rebel T4i, which is still considered beginner level prosumer camera. So I have that, but I also have the Panasonic Lumix G7,
Oh goodness.
which is
Now, I noticed that you do a lot of almost portrait photography. Is that what is your, I guess, your main art form? What do you like? What kind of genres?
so yeah. Portraits is the one I've been mostly known for. But I also do weddings. Those like my basically my top two. Well, technically, I'm trying to make boudoir one of my mains. So I guess three is my top three. But I'll shoot anything under the sun just about. But those are my top three at this moment. I
N-
might knock it down to two at some point, but at least that's my three.
So we're doing weddings, portraits, boudoir. And as far as for getting started, what was your first step into photography? When did you start making a client list, or do you even have a client list? How do you work?
So my client list. Well, okay, so
I guess where did you get started? Let's say there. Like, how did you know, okay,
hmm,
this is what I'd like to do? Besides, I know did you go to school for this? Actually, that would be a good question.
I did not go to school for this under any circumstances.
Okay, so
The camera.
self-trained.
Yeah, camera was just laying around, start taking pictures, and hey, you start taking pictures. Like, and it's funny. So I guess technically, if we can go back, especially if we go beyond the 2020 into my college days, I would say technically my first, I guess, gig, so to speak, happened in my freshman year of college. There was this it was RA, and so they had like, so it was back, when they had like the boys and the girls separated
Hmm.
in the dorms, which I'm pretty sure they still do today, and
Yeah.
I would hope so. And so this woman comes approaches. She first, I went to this event, right? You just had some random event for the freshmen. This woman just pulls up to me and was like, "Hey, you use the camera." And she asked me if I wanted to, take pictures of her, because she asked me for pictures because she was running for, I think it was SJ president. It was
Hmm.
president or vice president. It was one of the two. And I went to her room, took some quick headshots, ended up on a T-shirt and some posters. And I even found like, it's funny, I found the pictures like maybe like a month ago, because sometimes what I like to do is I like to go back to my old pictures, because I try to tell people, hey, I've been doing this for a while.
Yeah,
So,
almost
so I
like
know a
here's the
little.
proof.
So I know a little bit what I'm doing here. Once but no. So I took this picture of the lady and of the woman and whatnot, and that was pretty much it. Like I had nothing. I don't have nothing extra or spices to say anything after that, right?
Yeah, so that was like a
People.
spark for you.
So it was. Man, it was. It was just one of those. I was doing a lot my freshman year anyway. So what's add a photo shoot to the list? Not much,
Hmm.
right? And I'll just take pictures. If I'll get pictures and videos of everything that was going on too, just because, right? So it makes a little sense. So I had that. I had that before, and then it's funny in the sense because they both moved on, but
Hmm.
like it's not funny because I can't really post it at all. So my roommate in college, at one point, I think he was going to be. I think he got engaged to someone that he's been dating at that point for a while, right?
Yeah.
And so, which I think he better at college as well. And I did like a my engagement shoot with them, and I still have the pictures
Okay.
to this day. But I'm not gonna I can't let the pictures see the light of day because
No, because it changes, right? Like everything we
yeah,
grow
it's
and we learn. So I 100%. Now, would you ever give us a sneak peek of like this is where I started, but this is where I'm at now? Would you ever do that?
oh yeah, I'm not afraid of like showing what I started. I did it before because even going back to like this is all college related right now at the moment. Like I even remember I posted on my IG like a while ago. I might repost it again. I did someone graduation shoot, just someone that my roommate recommended me to, or recommended someone to me, and I did. Granted, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just straight up auto mode.
Hmm.
Had no sense of control of my own camera. Didn't know what was going on,
Yeah.
and but it still came out pretty nice. I think Google had like a photo editor little thing. I used the Google photo editor at some point
Yeah.
because they had like a picture thing going on. So I didn't know really what was going on, but it still turned out pretty decent.
So
Even
the
like to this
vision was
day,
there. Like the vision was there. You just,
even
of
to
course, were learning the trait.
right, you just don't know the nuances of what you're doing until later on down the road. And so yeah, so it was like I still look at the pictures sometimes, so, up to this day, like I had something going on.
Hmm.
I ain't know much, but I had something going on. And so, but no, I'm not afraid. Actually, what's funny is I'm actually going to, because I work with so many models and we kind of work with the same models at this
Yeah.
point because it's a large but small community at the same time.
Right.
I'm gonna start doing like this is my first picture with them. Here's the latest one, just to show how
Oh, that
much
would be
both
so
sides have grown.
cool. I would love to see that. And yeah, feel like the like you said, the community is big, right? But it's also small in the sense of we all
We
kind of
we
network together.
we know each other. We know who it is. Like we see, it'd be funny because it'd be like I'll be seeing some picture you take pictures of, you take pictures of model, like, oh yeah, they finally got together. I knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. I knew that when they got together, it's gonna be some firework, like that type of stuff, right? But
Oh,
but it's actually kind of
100%.
fun though in a sense, because especially when there's no like when there's literally no beef going on. It's just
Just love
of
for the art.
yeah, basically, even maybe a little bit jealousy because like, damn, I'm really work with that person. But hey, good shit, dog. Good shit. You got it.
Yeah, it almost like
Then
ignites a flame, right? Like, man, I wanted to work with that person, but I bet when I do, ooh, it's gonna be fire. Like, I hit that. I get that little feeling sometimes.
and right. So hey, even with you, I was like, oh yeah, it's on and popping. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I
I
can't wait.
cannot wait till our shoot.
It
I'm
was
just saying as
it was
well.
it was on and pop. I was like, oh yeah, I'm ready for you. I'm ready.
Now, jumping to like you said, you kind of got like real serious post COVID. Is that correct?
Yeah, basically when it first started, like I got started in the middle of COVID.
What was your first like networking group or networking shot? How did you find yourself coming out and meeting the the community in that you're in now? How did you meet these people?
All right, so first of all, I want to give a shout out to Crown Studios because that was like the first like time I did like any kind of like shootout, whatnot, just to meet. We're in a situation where I meet other photographers and models and whatnot.
Now say that
So
name one more time.
Crown Studios.
Crown Studios. All right. Yeah, and so how long ago was that?
Shout out to Genesis, man. That was 2 years ago
2 years
actually.
ago. Okay.
And so it was it was my first like it was my first like just hey, you're a photographer, you want to show up. And I found it by happenstance. I found out I was on Facebook, and we got a bunch of Facebook groups of the same
Mm-hmm.
people looking for the same thing. So they had a flyer out, and actually, let me backtrack real quick, right? Because the whole boudoir thing started with one of my good friends that I
Right.
met at somewhat not really college, but we went to the same school. We never really talked to each other, but we was in the same school. We was in the choir together, all that good stuff, right? But so I had the idea of what I wanted to do. I showed her that because she takes pictures as well, and she was like, "Hey, I want to do some pictures. Come through. We both. I get some pictures. You get to practice. Be cool with me." And I showed up there, took my pictures, and she was. I actually used her for like the first like few posts of like just me marketing myself as an artist.
Yeah.
But I don't really, obviously, because I met so many people at this point, I don't really use her no more because she's not really a model. She just wanted to,
Yeah.
model at one time,
Yeah.
which is not bad. Which is not a bad thing. So, and also, I have so much. I want to show my range and my diversity
Right.
anyway. So, but going back to just doing it as a like when it comes to networking, no. So I met up. So I found this Facebook post, and it's like, hey, we're doing like a boudoir shootout. You know, it's so you can show up and get some pictures, and photography got it for free. Models have to pay all that good stuff. Which okay, cool. That's a good way to get some people to show up. If they could do it for free and they
Mm-hmm.
got time. And at that time, my office that I had was maybe like 15 minutes from there. So sometimes I'll be at the office. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll be there. I'm gonna be at my office anyway. So let me show up
Yeah.
and learn to meet some people. And no, that's how I met some people. And actually funny because Sarah Sharp.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
I met her that first day in that same spot in the same building. So she was one of the first ones I knew longer than everybody else.
That's pretty neat. That's
And
a long
so
time.
yeah, so when she started to show up to the Lord, she was like, "Oh yeah, it's on now. I know what she can do. I knew what she can
Oh,
do
I
al-
definitely love her
al-
technique.
already." So yeah, I'm trying. I would pay her to to be editing that from her. Like I would pay her real bad. But it
Oh
was,
yeah.
but no. That's when I started doing that, and I did that. They had like pretty much like one or two every month. So I
Mm-hmm.
just kept showing up. Get my practice on, and also where I learned to really how to edit myself in terms
Mm-hmm.
of how much pictures I actually give out. Because I used to give out a lot of pictures, way too
Yeah.
many. It's almost embarrassing how much pictures I got. Like I gave out almost everything I took almost.
Which takes time, and editing. You always
Yeah,
get excited, right? Like I call it almost like clicker happy. You just start clicking because you see all these great views, but then editing comes and it's like, whoa, what did I do?
but then it's like you feel like you have to edit all of them and send everything else, but you don't really have to. You just
Mm-hmm.
have to. That's when I learned how to really. All
Mm-hmm.
right, here's the best ones. Go and have fun.
Selective.
So
Yes.
be more quality versus quantity, right?
Love that.
So, but I learned. But again. That's what the purpose of me showing up to these things, or just really learning how to really operate because paid clients ain't gonna want to worry. Ain't gonna some paid clients ain't gonna want 200 pictures.
Hmm.
They
They're
gonna
gonna
want
want those specific, really good ones.
the best 10. But also, it comes down to actually learning how to value what you do because you sit in. If I'm sending out 200 pictures and I'm charging $200, that's $1 a picture. That's not really valuable.
Hmm.
So, but like I said, it was just like my training ground to really just learn how to really edit myself in terms of what I'm doing and all that, in terms of what I'm sending out and everything else, because you're not gonna post all the pictures anyways.
Right. Now, would you
I,
say, do you prefer networking shootouts, or do you like to schedule your studios, or is it completely two separate things to you? How do you view that?
it's two different things for me personally. So shout out to Lola, because she be putting on these events every month.
That's
That's
our girl.
crazy. But no, so I use her events as is to me. It's obviously it's networking, right? Because you get to meet other models, you get to meet other photographers, and they see what you can do. You see what they can do. Chances are you're gonna be like, hey Greg, or hey, you want to come shoot with me? Yeah, let's do it. You want to come to help me with this gig? I like your work, type stuff, right? And so it works for that. Also works for models too, because especially if let's just say for some reason I have I don't know Nike hit me up, right? Hey Greg,
Hmm.
we got this budget. We'll give you this money. You have created a campaign, or you work with other you work with a team. And do you know any models? Oh yeah, I got you. I know a bunch of them that'll fit what
Right.
you're looking for, right? All shapes and sizes and color. What you want? I got you. Let me hit them
Love
up real
that.
quick. So So it's definitely two separate things because I do have personal projects I want to do, like just for my own, like just own personal creativity. And so as you keep, showing up to these events, you gain the model's trust, you gain the other photographers' trust, so that when you do approach it with a project, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I know you'll take care of me." Because truthfully, that is what it's all about. At the end of the day, when you're shooting people, is learning how to take care of them.
Yeah, say that one more time. That is so important, making someone
Right.
feel comfortable.
Right. So it's a whole thing, and you would think you don't want to take care of nobody, but no, it'd be beneficial if you learn how to take care of somebody because all of it's in the experience, right?
Hmm.
It's all of the experience. Because truth of the matter is, we're not replaceable, but we are replaceable. Depends on who the person is.
Hmm.
So if they're gonna hire you, give them a reason to hire you, right?
Right.
Or give them a
Right.
reason to hit you up for a project, like. So no, I try to take care of everybody because at the end of the day, if they look good, I look good,
I
and I
love
look good. We
that.
both look good. Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. And that takes me to community. So, obviously, as we mentioned before, the Houston community is so big, but it's
Yep.
also so small in the sense of like almost everyone kind of knows everyone. And I'm pretty sure social media has a huge, play on that. But just
Mm-hmm.
in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're all going to the same events. We see each other, maybe on the night out. Now, regarding the community, how long would you say you've been actively part of the community, and do you see yourself as one of those members? Tell me more about those two things. How long would you say you've been connected, and do you
Mm-hmm.
see yourself as an active member of that community?
It's honestly for me, it's weird because like obviously I've been doing this for at least 2 years at this point, like just stepping out and meeting people for 2 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a weird thing because I guess because of how big the city is and how spread out everybody is, you don't really see people that much, right? Like I
Yeah,
haven't had a
Houston's
situation.
huge.
Like I haven't ran into a situation where I just ran into somebody just randomly
Mm-hmm.
doing nothing, something else that don't require a camera or them posting, right? Like I haven't run into that situation yet. I'm pretty sure I will, but also
Yeah.
because I've been at home a lot too. But
Hey, COVID did that to all of us. And also for people that are maybe not from the area, it literally can take you an hour and a half to go from one side
right,
of Houston to the other side of Houston.
no, Houston
So
is like
it's
5 countries in
huge.
one.
Yes.
Houston is 5 countries in one. You go to North Houston, you don't made a whole. You don't. You
It's a
might need a
whole
passport.
ecosystem over there. It's not the
You
same.
need a passport to go from South Houston to North Houston. Okay, you need a passport. That's what.
Yes,
That's
you do.
like. So it makes so in the sense I am an active member, so to speak, especially when it comes to like doing these events and whatnot. But I'm not
Hmm.
like always out, but then again, I'm not always out and about as is because, as you
Hmm.
already know, a lot of us spend a lot of our time at home working
Yeah.
on craft.
Yeah, you're always grinding. I see that. You're always grinding. And I really like follow your socials because it's almost very refreshing to see someone's like just brand truth opinion going out there, what you're thinking, whether it's sports or craft or the community, or lately it's been a lot of like your racing. I've been watching your stories. So I gotta touch base on Petty Greg. I love
Oh
those. I
man!
love those.
So all
Tell me
right,
more
so
about that. How did that start?
let me just all right. So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. All right, first of all, the one thing I try to do is I try to brand myself as someone that's being honest and truthful about how I feel and what I feel. Now, this don't excuse me for if I say something that's out of pocket or I say something out of line, I can't get checked. No, I can always get checked, right? If I need to be
Mm,
checked.
hmm.
I'm always open to hearing other people's opinion. If I say something that's incorrect, I would love for me to be corrected because I would hate to be someone on the social media getting, blasted on the Summer Jam screen because I said something crazy and I appear to be the person who won't back down. But if no one tells me that I said something messed up, how can I correct it, right?
Yeah.
So I try to be honest but fair about what I'm thinking. I try not to
Yeah,
say
you're never, let me just say that. You're never like insulting. I never hear
yeah,
you as like insulting. You're always very respectful, but you say what you mean in a
right.
careful way, and I think it's important and we really need more of that. And just in general. And I love that yours is so broad. It's not just people, it's not just one thing. It's in
Mhm.
general of what you're doing that day, and I love
Yeah,
that.
so I try to treat everything or everybody with the same level of energy, right? Especially if they have done nothing to me,
Mhm.
So, but no, okay. So then, also the thing with Petty Greg, though. So Petty Greg really
Very
was
great.
born out of like necessity in a way because when you're running a business, especially when you're someone like myself who don't really like talking to people all that much,
Mhm.
but you have to kind of grow into that. It's just kind of like an alter ego, so to speak, but it's one that protects me from other
Yeah.
people's bullshit,
Yeah,
right?
and that's real, especially online, right? Because everybody
It's
can have something to say behind a keyboard. We all know that.
online, in person, like it's a way for me to protect myself from people trying to screw me over or say something slick about me or people who I know, like
Hmm.
it's I just kind of I operate. Yeah, so that's what it's kind of born from because even like at the beginning, people would try to get up on you because they can smell like, oh, he's new, right, or he's desperate or whatnot, and they try to get over people, but it's like no, at this point, it is what it is. Like this is me, this is what I'm doing, and honestly, here's a treat, and this it really started. So I haven't talked to people this because I try to keep some parts of my life, behind closed doors,
Yeah.
right? So I'm divorced at this, right? And there was a period of time where me and my ex-wife was I'm about to get together, and we had like a small conversation about the fact that she was kind of worried because I didn't really have a 9 to 5, so to speak, or at least a steady income at the moment, right?
Right.
Which to be fair, is honest, is 100% fair on her part, right? Like that's nothing wrong with that.
Hey, different goals, right? Different people, different
Nothing at all. Like
goals.
it's
Yeah.
like it's what she wants. Nothing wrong with that. But for myself personally, it was the first time. Like I just told her like, well, I understand, I respect your opinion, but it is what it is. This is the first time I've done something that I chose for me, by me, because of me. I
Yeah,
have the
that
opportunity to do
passion.
so, and I have the space to give it a run and see what I can do. And the only person that I'm hurting is myself. So for that reason, I just told her, like, I understand it, but I'm still going to do this because this is who I am. This is what I do.
Now, would you
And
say that this passion is this something you can see yourself doing, let's say like quote unquote goals? Do you see this doing for the remainder of your lifespan? Do you want to do something like bigger? Is there a certain goal in mind?
so I think at this point, I will always be doing pictures. Like I'll be taking pictures and whatnot. That's gonna be forever. Like at this point, but
Mm-hmm.
I think what's going to change is how I approach everything else, right? And so essentially, it's one of those things where which path do you take? I see most photographers go the educational route, right? Because they want to teach classes, have workshops, or do the YouTube thing, get monetized for YouTube, which I do want to do for YouTube, but not so much as being like this extensive teacher, at least not right now, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like I have got to the point to where I can't get it wrong, at least yet.
Yeah.
But I still want to create like I want to create something that when I do a YouTube video, it's a movie, it's an event. Like people got, oh crap, Greg posted something, let me go check it out. I want to get to that
Got
point.
it.
But the actual goal is I really want to have like a creative space, like an actual like playhouse, so to speak, to where
Mm-hmm.
just imagine like a building, and every so often you fill it up with different types of sets, right? So
Okay.
think Lola's shoes, but on steroids, right?
Mm.
But
So
with
you're like offering like sets and backdrops and but also hosting.
like sets, backdrops, props, like
Yeah.
anything, just create like different props every so often, and just creating the actual building. That way, be a permanent location. It's and that way I can just like, hey, screw it, I just do my own thing, right? Which I will also say this too. One thing I don't want to do is step on people's toes, right?
Yeah, I can totally understand that.
That's why I don't really want to do. I don't want to just show up and step on other people's toes or try to steal other people's.
Like their niche per se, can kind
Well,
of.
I want that you can't. It's hard to really have an original idea nowadays
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
everything is done. Everything is a rip off of something else, right? But I want to do it in a way that don't screw other people going. It's like I do. And I also want to do like art exhibits.
That'd
Like
be neat.
imagine going through an art exhibit of wall to wall action of all my art, and people just auction off of pieces of it.
It's almost like a studio gallery kind of. That's a nice vision,
And
and I
it's like
think
a
we
big
there's
like a
never enough of
conglomerate
that.
type of stuff. And,
Yeah.
and then even like for my business, like I'm still determining the direction I want to go with it because right honestly, it's a different type of way I'm going to go right now. But depending on what direction I choose, do I really rebrand what I'm doing, or do I keep what I'm doing right now? Because eventually, I do want to have like an actual squad, right? To
Mm-hmm.
where if you need certain looks, I got you. If you need someone
A
that does this, I
community.
got you. Like so I can like a hub for
Yeah.
actual professional that can that do what they do, right? So that's something I would like to do. That's
Mm-hmm.
like the ultimate goal. That's a lifetime goal right there. So if it happens at some point,
Yeah.
it'll be great. There's no like deadline on it at all.
No,
But
I love that. And it's actually very visionary. It's very forward thinking as well. Now, bringing it to like the community, we are running
mm,
here close to our time, but I don't want to keep you. However, I do want to know. I want to know as
mm,
far as for the community. Now that you're here, we've talked a little bit more about it. Tell
mm,
me your pro and your con. What is something that you absolutely love about our creative collective? And
mm.
what is something that you think maybe our community could improve on? Let me know what's going on there. I want to know what Greg is thinking.
Okay, so obviously the pro is what big pro is because you're with like-minded people. They know what you're talking about when you have like an issue, right?
Yeah.
So if I would like, hey, I'm having an issue with being able to see what the hell this meter is going on, you already know. Oh, let me just tell you what's going on real quick. You might be doing this wrong, type of stuff, right? And
It's
it's great.
helpful. It's
It's
almost
great to have.
helpful.
Is even you just want to vent about how a client or try to play you, and you be
Hmm.
like, oh yeah, I understand what you mean because they try to play me too, and that's what I do to them,
They can
right?
relate. They can relate. It's
So
like a
it's
good soundboard.
especially when because everybody don't do this, and people don't understand like this is you really have to like love the game, all of it to do this.
Yeah.
All
100%.
you can't just celebrate the wins when you get a fire ass pitcher. No, you got to celebrate the L's when the clients are not really happy with this what you were sent back to them, and sometimes it's not even your fault. They just it's on their end sometimes, right?
Hmm.
And that's not much you can do about that, other than try to find a middle ground somewhere. But so that's the pro. A con would be when there's too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You
Explain
know,
that a little bit more.
so all right. So I'm gonna give you an example. So I mentioned Sarah. Me and Sarah shot at an event not too long ago that she asked me to help out with, right?
Right.
And so from that from that from that jump, I knew that my role was second shooter. I was helping her out. It wasn't my show, it was her show, right?
Right. You
So
were invited there.
because the person contacted her for the work and she asked me to tag along. And so basically she bared the responsibilities if shit went left, right? And I think a lot of times people try to take on that main role without the actual
Mm-hmm.
responsibilities.
Yeah. So they want to lead, but they don't
It's kind
necessarily
of like
want the charge.
it's like a main character syndrome that's going on sometimes,
Yeah.
and so that's one thing. That's one con, and another con I want to say, and actually I've been wanting to kind of go off on this real quick. I know we don't got time, but
Let it
I'm gonna
go,
say this.
Petty Greg.
Oh yes, you go. Oh, you know what? You are in luck because this is gonna be a Petty Greg moment right
All
here.
right, let's go.
For
Sound
those who
bit.
are listening, this is Petty Greg moment right now.
Got
All
it.
right,
Let's go.
let's do this. All right, Petty Greg here. What's going on, y'all? So as the photographer, right? We understand that you need to have a system of clients. You need a lot of clients, right? Sometimes we all have our list of models that we work with. We have our list of photographers that we work with. We know which role they would be best suited in, right? And some people might be weird and have an actual ranking system, which is their choice. The thing you don't do though is you don't make that type of stuff public information.
Mm,
You
mm.
have to be. You have to really learn how to. You gotta know how to take care of your peoples. As regular Greg spoke about, taking care of your peoples. That don't include just posting what I would consider to be sensitive information, right?
Right. Right. Definitely
So
that
full
privacy.
con- for so full context of what for people who are like, what the hell are you talking about? That's the guy. I'm not gonna say his name because I don't want get
No
in
promo
trouble or
here.
get you in trouble. Yeah, plus give him airtime. So that's the guy. He does like nude models, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we
Hell,
love
I would
that.
like to do something like that one point, right? At some
Mm-hmm.
point in my life. But he had this little weird system of like ranking system of who they, I guess, depend on different criteria. Whatever. I think we all have our list in some kind of form. He posted it on Facebook and had it to the point where everybody could see what's going on and had the names out there and everything else. Number one, you that's this private information that is for you and for you only. Number two, sometimes these models come in with stage names for a reason. Either they trying to get away from
Yeah.
somebody
Our
or they want their
privacy.
private life to be private.
Yeah.
And it's a safety concern. It's a dangerous hazard. I worked in IT before I started doing photography, so I know the importance of sensitive information. And so even to the point to where I don't even mention people's name on when I write about blogs and stuff, unless their their real name happens to be their stage name at the same time. Then I can't do much about that.
Right.
But if you know, if they already expressed to you, hey, don't tag me on this site, or hey, don't bring my real name into this. This is my stage name. You do not bring up their real name under any circumstance, even if it's a private conversation between you and somebody else, because you don't know
Respect.
you don't know what the hell you're doing. So yeah, if you don't know how to take care of your people, do not shoot people, and that's gonna be a
That
pretty
is a
great moment.
hundred. That's 100%. Thank you for that moment because honestly, I think feeling that goes back to making models feel comfortable, right? And if they
Exactly.
know that they can trust you with not sharing, maybe it's just private. Maybe their work life and
So
their fun life
I'm
is
giving
separate.
and I'm gonna give a quick story. I'm gonna give one quick story, but so because this is happening. So as a photographer, we know attention to detail is very paramount, and we are very critical of ourselves. We don't if we get something wrong. So that's the picture I have that I posted a while back. It's still one of my favorite pictures to this day. It was a picture of I don't want to get her real name out there, but it was last year's summer shootout with Lola, High Girl
Hmm.
Summer Shootout. and she had a fan like in front of her face, and it covered like half her eye. It was so beautiful. I'm gonna send you the picture so you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah, I want to see
right?
it.
And so what happened was I didn't catch, but one of her fingernails were broke. And I was like, oh, I
Oh.
gotta fix. I didn't notice that. Someone pointed it out in a group chat, which is fine because it's a group chat, it's private. But
Right.
someone pointed it out. I was like, oh shit, let me go fix this real quick. I ran straight to YouTube, learned how to fix that. Within like 10 minutes, I fixed it, and it was fine.
Well, that's been our podcast with Greg. It's Greg72. Make sure you catch him on all social media platforms. I will be sure to, of course, add all of the links here at the bottom. But, Greg, give us your plug. Where can we find you? Where can we contact you?
So, you can find me on all social media and YouTube at ItsGreg72. That is ITSGREG72. That's where you can find me. That's where you can find Petty Greg. Or if you're on Threads, if you're on IG Threads, he's gonna be there mostly, but he might be on IG as well. But it's Greg72, ITSGREG. We can find the both of us. And I'm going to give a shout out to my business, Creative Culture, at KKE Group. You can't miss it. All social media as well. But we're mostly on IG because, we're pictures and videos. So,
Awesome. Now, say that name one more time. What was that?
Creative Culture with a K. So that is KKE Group. That is the social handle.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Greg. We'll definitely make sure to add all those links here at the bottom. It's been fabulous. Thank you for your time. And
I
of
enjoyed
course,
myself. I'll
I
do it
will
again.
definitely see you soon.
And do not be so serious, okay?
Nah, not so serious, guys. Awesome.
Don't be so
Have a great
serious.
day, guys. And thank you. Have a good one.
Y'all be easy.
Again, thank you to our amazing guest. If you would like to join this podcast, please visit our website, the64bits with a Z.com. Again, the 64bits.com, or send me a DM. Bye, guys.